Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. All right, we're here. We good. We Gucci. We're in the building. One more time, drop some bombs. What up? We got Buck Rays Bolts in the building. All right. So, listen. Guess what? I am going to live stream the game today. Yes, I'm nervous for a lot of reasons. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna do a deep dive about I'm gonna break this game down so much. Hopefully, we have enough time. There is one press conference we need to talk about. Well, there's two I'm going to show you, but only one we need to talk about. The other one, we're not going to really watch the press conference. There's just one thing that I want you guys to listen to. But before I break down the game, we got to listen to these press conferences because this has to do with some of the things I've been talking to you guys about and why I've been feeling the way I've been feeling about this season. Rosales in the building. Yes. Let's get into it.
There you go. Yeah, no issues. Wasn't like it didn't even occur where I lived. So that was nice. We were fortunate.
There's some things that he says that is very crucial.
Yeah, he was sharp. We were all really on the same page about the plan. I thought the staff did a phenomenal job getting the guys ready to play this week.
We're gonna listen to this real quick. Talk about a few things.
They really were kind of dialed into what we were
and then
trying
we're
to
gonna
do,
break down this game.
That defense.
And
the guys were.
There's a lot
hard.
to break down
they
about
were
the game.
Fast. Baker was on.
Let me see if
I
can
the ball
this up.
Getting the ball out and getting the ball to the right guys at the right time. So it just the guys just did a really good job of executing, especially early on, what we were trying to get done and jumping out to a fast start.
Incredibly talented quarterback, drafted number 1 overall. You see touchdown throw with 0 margin for error.
We're going fast. Try to get to the.
Surprised he let rip in there. There was a linebacker underneath. Trey did a good job getting inside. That was an us or nobody type throw. He makes a great throw into a tight window. Trey makes a great catch, and that's football. Like that's kind of what we've been hoping to see is just more guys making plays. You know, it might not be wide open.
No,
and hoping to see is
I wanted to talk
just
about.
tight window. Trey makes. Trey did a good job getting it. I'm surprised he let it rip in there.
Yeah, the throw to Godwin.
Yeah,
the pinpoint act.
So one thing I forgot to tell you guys or talk about. When we had the game against the Commanders, I was like, oh, that's Lombardi Baker right there. And then I was kind of like, well, stat wise, it's Lombardi Baker, but really he played like the New Orleans Saints Baker, like the Baker we had against the New Orleans Saints, right? That Commanders game wasn't really Lombardi Baker, and the reason why I said that was because I felt like his accuracy was not on par, right? He didn't have no throws. Last week against the Eagles, that was Lombardi Baker. That was Lombardi Baker. There was like 2 or 3 throws that I was like, ooh, okay. And there was the one to Chris Godwin where he had the guy all on him and Chris Godwin caught it on stride, kind of down low, but still caught it on stride. It was a nice catch. That Trey Palmer's touchdown was not an easy throw. He let that thing go. And these are not throws that nobody else can make those throws. There's nothing like that. They're throws that any good elite quarterback can make. These are the throws that I'm talking about. This is when I say it's Lombardi Baker. When he makes throws like that, when he lets the ball go. Now listen to what Cohen says.
Does it make you kind of go, wow?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I was kind of surprised he let it rip in there.
I was surprised that he let it rip in there. And that's the thing. There are a lot of people think I hate on Baker. I do not hate on Baker. There is a lot of throws that we saw last year on tape where I'm like, I get it. He doesn't want to risk, but there's a lot of professional throws that could be made. A lot of times when we see our offense and it's not really clicking like we want it to be clicking, or we, at the end of a game and we're like, man, our offense was struggling this week. A lot of times we'll go back and watch the film and there'll be a lot of throws where I'm like, he could have made that throw. And you might feel like I'm being picky and, you're being ticky-tacky. No, there's a lot of throws that an elite quarterback can make. And when I'm saying an elite quarterback, I'm not saying like, he fitted in this little like, you got to be super special. I'm just saying any real quarterback can make these throws. That the throws when I see a play and I'm like, Baker, you got to hit that. Baker, you got to let it go there. These are not throws where I'm like, only Tom Brady or only Patrick Mahomes can hit that. Come on, you got to do it too, Baker. No, they're not throws like that. These are just regular pro throws that I expect my quarterback, if you're going to start for my team, I want you to be able to make these throws. This pro quarterback needs to be able to make those throws. Right here, Combs says the same thing. He says, I didn't expect him to make those throws.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I was kind of surprised he let it rip in there. There was a linebacker underneath. Trey did a good job getting inside. That was an us or nobody type throw. He makes a great throw into.
He says, I was surprised he let it rip in there. He shouldn't be, right? That should be the norm. Now, again, I'm not asking for Baker for that to be his norm, but when we are struggling offensively, I look at it like this. Start the game with, I'm only going to take what the defense gives me. Play safe. That's fine. Start it like that. I'm not going to try to force nothing. That's perfect. But if it's halftime and we're struggling offensively, we haven't put no points on the board, or we haven't gotten a touchdown, or we're really not moving the ball like that, it's time for you to step it up a notch and maybe take a little bit more risks so we can get the ball rolling, so we can get the offense going. That is something that we wanted Jameis to do. The problem with Jameis was he was like that from the beginning. From the beginning, he'll make those risky throws. Jameis had to learn how to just slow down. Sometimes you ain't got to do all that. Sometimes all you got to do is take what the defense gives you, and they'll give you some easy throws, and it'll be more than enough to win the game. But there's some games, especially when you get into the playoffs, where the defense is not going to give you enough for you to win the game, and you're going to have to go and take it. The throw that he's talking about with Chris Godwin, the throw that he's talking about with Trey Palmer, those are throws that he had to go take it. I'm gonna go take that completion. And again, he says he was surprised that he let it rip in there. Hopefully, we see more of
to his
that,
tight window.
which is
Trey makes a
AKA
great catch, and
Lombardi
that's
Baker.
football. Like that's kind of what we've been hoping to see is
That's football.
just more guys making plays.
Yes.
It might not be wide open. It might not be perfectly schemed up. That was just a slant flat combination type play that has been run for years and years. And those guys executed it because it's about players making those plays come to life.
It's about players making plays. Sometimes it's not going to be schemed perfectly. Sometimes the guy's not going to be wide open. What is he saying there? What he's saying there is, again, hike. Okay, this is supposed to be okay, and this should get something open. It didn't. It's not there. Sometimes you got to throw somebody open. And again, when the game first starts, it's okay. Take what the defense gives you. But once you see, like, okay, they're not really giving us enough. They're not giving us enough. Now you got to be that quarterback. Now you got to throw somebody open. Make something happen. If we can get Baker to get confident to be like that more often, especially when we're stumbling offensively, that's what we need. And that's what he's talking about. And that's what he means by we need players to make more plays. He's not really talking about the receivers. He is talking about the receivers, but he's also talking about the quarterback. We need you to make more plays. I say all the time, what makes Mahomes and the Chiefs so dangerous is that you have to stop Andy Reid and his play designs and his play calling first. That alone is hard to stop. And then when you get a hold of that and you're like, I think I got what Andy Reid is doing. I think we got his plays down. And you slow that down a little bit and you got a grasp on that. Now you have to stop Mahomes from making plays. Now you have to stop Mahomes from throwing people, making people open. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. And that's what he means by players got to make plays. Sometimes it's not going to be the perfect call. Sometimes the call's not going to work. That doesn't mean the play shouldn't work. You still can throw people open. You still can find the holes in defense. Let's continue. A lot of great things in this interview.
It seemed like there's a little bit more gap during the run scheme. How pleased are you that the run game got going on Sunday, and going forward, how confident do you feel that you can get it picked up?
Yeah, it's a week-to-week thing, right? We're trying to get better each week. I thought both guys, especially Rashad, was running. They were running hard, running through arm tackles. Those guys both answered the bell, in terms of coming out aggressively, breaking tackles, running physically. I thought the tight ends did a really nice job in the run game as well, being physical. Cade and Payne both did a really nice job. It was good to see those guys play at the level that they played. Rashad made some great plays in the pass game, one on a tip where he's behind him, makes a great play, makes the guy miss. And then also on the screen later on a low ball, he makes Nakobe Dean miss in space. And those guys were playing really well on Sunday. I was very pleased with those two.
What else?
There's so much familiarity with Atlanta, with Raheem, with Zach. You know them and they know you well. How much more of a challenge is it when there's so much awareness both ways?
Yeah, that's definitely a challenge, right? I'm sure a lot of our calls are very similar. A lot of, maybe the no huddle and verbiage, but it's hard because you look at them defensively, you can definitely see a Rams flavor, but Jimmy Lake has put his own twist and turn on that defense. They're doing some really good things. They've got some really good players, especially at the safety position and up front. They've definitely improved up front as well.
So we can get to the
it's going to be a little bit of a chess match, I'm sure, but at the end of the day, if we can try to control the line of scrimmage and play the game on their side of the line of scrimmage and play the way we played last week, good things will happen. That's all we really care about, is if we come out with the competitive nature, the toughness, the physicality, and just going out and playing the game the way it's supposed to be played, the result's the result.
Understanding how important Mike and Chris are to the offense, how great was it to get some production from other receivers in the last game with Trey with the touchdown and Sterling Shepard stepping up until Trey got hurt?
Big time. That's what we talked about on Saturday night in this exact room, was guys are going to need to step up and make plays and not just do their job, do their job really well in order for us to go and win that game on Sunday. Schooley and Sean Tucker steps up and makes plays, and Shep and Trey. It's just when you have guys down, well, it's not an excuse. It's truly next man up. It's a results-based business. So we've got to go out there. And those guys, I was really proud to see Trey make a competitive catch like that. Bummed that he ended up getting, nicked up because I thought he was having a good game. And
yeah, man, I really would have loved to have Trey in this game. I really wanted Trey in this game big time. We need Trey Palmer in this game.
This O-line is in terms of kind of making that transition.
It's like I said, it's week to week. You're trying to get better every week. Sometimes zones there, sometimes gaps there. It's more just kind of based on what you're getting. And Philly had started the game out in that 6-1 structure. We kind of threw them out of it a little bit, which got them into some more nickel structures. We ran, just a little bit of mid zone. It wasn't a ton. Their linebackers were really filling downhill on some of the mid zone runs, which were then peeling off our combinations up front. So you lose the intent of mid zone when those backers are playing so heavily downhill. That's why we got to some more of those toss perimeter type plays to get the ball on the edge a little bit while still being able to be physical with a kick out type block with the tight end. So, zone is a play of attrition. You've got to continue to do it.
Boom. Freaking boom. When I heard that, I said, oh my God, thank you, Jesus. I don't know if you guys caught that. He said that their linebackers was really running downhill, like they were going downhill on the line. He caught that and said, okay, if they're going to do that, we're going to throw some more tosses. We're going to run some more plays from the out to the outside. Something that Dave Canellis did not understand at all. I see you, Mr. Toxic. We'll be talking about the game. We just got this press conference to get to real quick, but we're gonna talk about the game for sure. But yes, as a Buck fan, I loved hearing that. Like, thank you. We're hearing things about him that's like he understands what it is to be a freaking OC. He saw what they were doing.
Get better at it.
He adjusted at it.
But sometimes, the defense does kind of dictate what you end up running.
Exactly. The defense should dictate sometimes what you're running.
It seems like they're doing it more with more success.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got to be able to attack the defense at all different, angles. And, man, our thought process going into that game was not to just early on run the ball right down the middle. Like, that was probably not going to work in our favor. So we did try to go out, spit the ball on the perimeter, quick screens, quick passes, get the ball in the perimeter in the run game. And then, okay, maybe if we can tire these guys out a little, now go inside and try to get some of those things going. So, we scored on the flip to Bucky down in the red zone after we, didn't get it in on the one duo run. But yeah, so when you got backs that can make people miss in space and you got some linemen that can run, some of those pin and pull type plays are helpful.
Again, hearing exactly what I wanted to hear, which was a OC who understands the game, the feeling of the game. Oh, okay, so they're doing this. Okay, we got something for that. Not just this is the game plan, we're sticking to it, but oh, they're really doing this, so let's try this. Okay, they're doing this, let's do this. Maybe if this works, then we can do this, but we gotta watch it. You can't watch it if you don't got no game, if you don't got no vibes from the game, if you ain't got no game sense, if you don't know how to adjust. You're not gonna know how to adjust if you can't feel the game. Again, something that Dave Canellis couldn't do.
Obviously hot, and you schemed it up, of course, because that's thing. But how important is it? How do you get him from not having those dips, right? Like, we saw a really bad game.
Yeah.
There's really good Baker.
Mm-hmm.
So is that kind of where you're at right now?
Yeah, that's the challenge, right? I don't think he ever struggles with adversity, right? I've never seen him really struggle with that. It's, okay, how do we simulate and then emulate success week in and week out? What does that look like?
Yes.
How do we continue to calm our feet down in times of crisis when the things are, really moving fast and
calm our feet down? That's what I be talking about with Baker, right?
And I thought
where he has to go through his progressions. Now he's like,
be a surgeon in ways. He was a little surgical at times.
Yes.
And then he did move when he had to, but he didn't really move until later on in the game. So
yes.
The guys were doing a great job blocking up front. I thought we did a nice job in protection for the most part of that game. And we were winning for the most part on the perimeter. They didn't play a ton of man coverage, so that helped, where you don't have to hold on to the ball for maybe a click longer and wait for somebody. The ball comes out, especially when you're getting free access. So that is something that we have to continue to try to challenge him with and challenge our offense with, is repeating success. And how do we continue to do that?
It's so critical to make those in-game adjustments as quickly as possible. Who's feeding you the information? You're on the sideline.
Yep.
Much different view than the Birds have you.
Yeah, so up top we've got Josh Grizzardi's up top. He's giving me a lot of information. Jeff Castle gives me down in distance, field position, where we're at. And then Brian Picucci does defensive personnel, which was huge in this
Now, we don't
past
have
game
to
because
go through the
they were
whole thing
rotating in
with
from their
the Baker
6-1 to
interview.
their
The
nickel
Baker press
to their other
conference, I
defensive
already know.
structures, base when we went to
I know
12.
what I'm
So those guys
looking
did a phenomenal job on
It's
Sunday.
only
Like I said,
one
I thought our
thing that
staff as a
I wanna talk
whole
about.
really did a great job of executing this plan, getting the plan communicated to the guys. And then on Sunday, I thought we did a really nice job of, talking through things post, drive after we had either a good or poor drive, come back, hey, reevaluate, what can we attack these guys with? It was a really strong collaborative effort from the staff.
So Brady spent a lot of time
That's
coaching.
what I
Kevin
want to
really
hear.
knew the team.
That's
But also
what I
spent a lot
want
of
to
time
hear.
with you. I just want to ask you, have you met him before? And especially as a Northeast guy.
I met him in 2007. They played a playoff game against Jacksonville, won the game. I was there at the game, and I was with the running backs coach for the Patriots' son, Ivan Fears' son. He took me downstairs. I got to shake his hand. There's no shot he remembered that, but I did, obviously. I grew up going to Patriots games. That's where I grew up. I grew up going to Patriots training camp at Bryan College. I emulated him my entire life.
I just
wore
thought
clothes
of
because of him.
something. I ain't even gonna tell
So
you
that
about
was
it. Let's
a really cool
continue.
moment to be able to
Let's
pick his
continue.
brain, just talk football with him. That was probably something I'll never forget.
Yeah, a pretty big fan of your work on Sunday too.
That helped. That helps when you're successful and you have a good game. And one of the guys you grew up idolizing happened to be a part of that game from calling it from that standpoint. So that was that was a pretty cool day that, like I said, I'll never forget.
Talk a lot about Mike and Chris here for good reason, but when you look at their games, right, just what they do, is there two better guys that complement each other because they're so different?
Yeah.
They're both capable, big players.
Yeah, very different players, but can both attack the defense in similar ways where you saw Mike be able to attack the safeties on a couple out cuts on a sail break. You get Chris one-on-one on a slant that the guy's inside leverage on. Baker still kind of rips it in there, and Chris makes an unbelievable catch. Both guys just being so strong at the point of attack, strong at the catch point, and able to run through contact. Like contact doesn't really bother either of those guys, and it does bother a lot of receivers. So that's something that is, you can't really simulate that out here all the time. You just can't, because we're not, we're coached to not grab and touch, but that happens, and it's not going to always get called. And so for those two to be able to play so strong as they do, it's definitely something you can't see during the week as much, but comes to life on Sunday.
Having that true X receiver
Yeah.
in this offense. That's something that a lot of people are talking about.
Yeah.
They just haven't seen before.
True.
With the phase run and things like that.
Mhm.
What's
That
it
might have
being
been
able
it
to have
for that
kind of
first
that
press
missing piece?
Yeah, it helps dictate coverage in ways where you're able to put him in certain places and say, okay, we expect the double.
Everything that he
And if
said,
they don't
even
double him,
this.
well, that's where we should probably go with the ball if we're getting one-on-one. So it helps you prepare and understand, well, where can we move Mike to ultimately dictate where we want the ball to go.
Now,
The first
Dave
touchdown play of the
Canales
game,
learned
we
this,
had him at number 3,
but it took him a
or
while.
excuse me, at number 2. We motioned number 3 out to get the safety on him, and now we had a favorable matchup. In multiple other instances, you put him out at number 1. If they don't cloud him, well, the ball's going to, has a high probability of it going there. So that's what's helpful. It's also a challenge because you have to kind of look into their minds to see if this is how they're going to handle him. And if not, hopefully the advantage goes our way.
Cam Johnson dropped the light of a touchdown. He's kind of eating at it a little bit.
Yeah.
Happy about the win, but
Right.
a little distraught about that drop for a guy from Barton College.
Yeah.
Come to the NFL and have that moment. How do you coach him up and make sure he's ready to catch it?
Man, it happens. It's part of the game. Frustrating, sure, because that definitely would have put us at, I think, 28 in that moment. But look, I think it was Mike, or I forget who it was.
No, he's talking about Cameron Johnson, I believe. So there's one thing that I wanted to see about Baker.
He was just so precise. Maybe a mental thing that you were doing.
Pressures from the Denver game were a little bit ahead of the timing of our route concepts. And so when you get ahead of that, you get a little bit out of sync and you start to try and scramble around a little bit too early. So that was the thing there. So just slowing it down in my mind.
Well, it's a tough situation, but just playing better.
And especially when you're playing next to somebody, you understand how to pass. He hasn't played in a while. So just getting improved. And so we were really happy for him.
You into a rhythm faster than benefit of that, because we know they're going to get in a rhythm early with the offense.
It's for everybody else too. The O-line's able to settle into getting your skill guys going early, gives them confidence on and able to settle into. Yeah, it's huge, but it's not just for me. It's for every, whatever the scheme may be, however we want to attack a team. We just have to start fast and execute the plan at hand and go from there.
A lot of times you're getting a couple plays called. The success rate of those initial calls, are you actually audibling to something else that is working for you?
It's different each week. Obviously on third downs, not knowing what they're going to do, play schemed up, they work really well. And then play for this look, and if we don't get it, and they bring it to us, and we just got to go do it.
The last time that you traveled to Atlanta, it was a very
There it
crucial
is.
game.
I think this
and
is
things
it.
weren't necessarily going your way, but there was that 3rd and 10 that seemed to kind of change everything. You and Chris
This might
got
be it. Hold on.
30 plus yards on the play. What do you remember about that play and its impact that it had on the rest of the season?
Yeah, obviously, like you mentioned, critical situation for us, needing to move the chains, and Chris winning in man coverage on a route that he's won pretty consistently through him to come out.
There's always work to be done, but you're playing pretty good football right now.
Yeah, this is
This
it.
offseason with what you're working on to right now, how do you feel like you're evolving as a passer, doing what you set out to do, and what else do you think you can do?
I think I mentioned to you guys consistency was that thing, and so week 3 was definitely not the consistency that I wanted. So got back to it, but it needs to be week in and week out, and every week's different. It brings its own challenges, but for fans, and that's what I say.
We talked about Jesse Bates, other playmakers.
No, that wasn't it.
Coverage, pressure, how great of vets they are. They for those two, job of that, and
How much does he know you?
pretty well. He tries to, and so
Being back in.
good. It was getting a fresh start here, understanding how to win, a little energy.
He's like, absolutely.
You agree?
Yeah.
See, that's when you know. That's when you know.
Say about the receiver parts of the season. How's the salary different?
Preparation they're doing, offensive meetings, they're able to big moments.
Season, but it's a prime time game. It's
Okay,
a
I think this
divisional
today.
game. It's a game against the team that a lot
Hold
of
on.
people thought were going to be in first place in the NFC South. But right now, that belongs to you guys. I don't know for you how kind of, I guess, excited do you get for a game like that, or do you really just try to treat it like any other?
I mean, you try and treat any game the same, but I mean, the weight that it carries when you play divisional opponents, and just the opportunity on a short week playing against somebody on the road. It's a great opportunity for us to continue to build what we've had so far. But I think back at last year. Every year is different, but think back at last year, we were 3-1 at this point too. Now I wouldn't say that we operated as clean and we knew our identity, but right now, don't take anything for granted. Just because you start 3-1, like
That right there. He said last year we were 3-1. Last year we were 3-1, but what?
don't take anything for operated as every year is different, but think back at last year, we were 3-1 at this point too. Now I wouldn't say that we operated as clean and we knew our identity.
Now, I wouldn't say that we operated as clean or knew our identity. That's what he's saying, that the difference between week 4, is it week 4? Week 5 this year and week 5 last year is now already they're already playing much more cleaner football. And they feel like they already know their identity. He's saying that wasn't the case last year. And that's not because, this is Baker's second year. That might help a little bit. But that's because of good coaching. This is Liam, his scheme fitting us good. Liam understanding his offense already. Liam understanding his weapons already. We already talked about that and explained that earlier. So those are huge things right there. The fact of what I was hoping Liam our OC was learning, how he was attacking the game. It seems like he's answered those questions, and I'm glad he answered them the way he answered them. And I feel like that's good. That's perfect. That's what I wanted to hear. And some more confirmation by Baker telling us that the difference basically from last year to this year at this point in time of the season is we are already clicking. We're already playing clean football, and we're already feel like we know who we are. And as far as our identity, clean football is my whole point of why we are better than a lot of teams. Clean football is the reason why we beat the Falcons. Well, I'm pretty sure we beat the Falcons. Now, let's get into this game. Let's get into this game, right? Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing the Atlanta Falcons Thursday night. Listen, there are there's a lot. Let me not say some. There's a lot of Buck fans. There's a lot of Buccaneer fans that are nervous about the game. I'm nervous about the game, but for other reasons. They believe, and I know this is going to sound like I'm picking on somebody, but I'm not. They believe that this is actually going to be a close game. Some people actually believe that we're on the same level as the Falcons. And that is not true. It is not true. Listen, we are way more talented than the Falcons. That's one. But talent alone doesn't win you football games. Talent alone doesn't mean anything, right? Unless you got the coaching. And we have the coaching. Better coaching than the Falcons. There's a press conference with Raheem Morris that told me all I needed to know about Raheem Morris and his coaching stint there with the Falcons. They asked him, does he see anything wrong with the fact or nervous about the fact that they didn't score offensively a touchdown? And Raheem said no. He said no. You find ways to win games. Good teams find a way to win games. That is a lie. That is a lie that people, this is one of those lies that people heard an announcer say and they pick it up and they think they heard a couple people say and they think that's real football. That is a lie. Yes, good teams find a way to win, but that shouldn't have been the answer. His answer should have been, yes, we got to get better. We got to get better. I didn't like it. We got to get better offensively. Hold people accountable. He didn't. And that could have been, okay, I looked at it like, I don't like that, but maybe he's doing that for the media, right? Maybe he's just doesn't want the media to say nothing, and behind closed doors, he's like, hey, man, we got to get this. Which I'm more than sure, I'm more than sure he didn't go to Kirk Cousins and say, oh, no, we're fine. I'm pretty sure he's going to the team and it's like, all right, so what can we do better this week or whatever, right? Obviously, he's doing that. But then there were several other questions that they've asked him. This is a problem. How do you feel about this? This is a problem. How do you feel about that? And he just kept giving excuses and excuses of why things are fine. And, oh, no, you ain't got to worry about that. Don't worry about that. That's fine. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. There's a problem here. No, don't worry. We're good. There's a problem here. No, third downs. No, we're good. 3 and outs, too many. No, we're good. You're not scoring. No, we're good. Too many things that they were saying. No, we're good. I'm like, this is not good. As a head coach, you need to be strong about this stuff. This is the same thing that we saw with Mike McDaniels and the Dolphins. Why they're soft. Everything is, pat in the back. Oh, don't worry. We'll get better. We're good. There's not enough. We got to get better. I'm not happy with this. There's not enough. No, this is not Falcon football. This is not what I want. This is not Raheem Morris football. This is no accountability. So that I'm like, okay, they're done. He's done. I'm already. And again, I started saying that I like Raheem Morris, right? I'm done. I'm not worried about it. Now, we have more talent, coaching staff. Let's get into the nitty-gritty because I don't believe this should be a close game. I believe this should be like Bills versus Dolphins, Jets versus Patriots. This should be one of those games. This should be like the Eagles game, right? This should be like the Eagles game. And I'm going to explain. There's several reasons why we should win, several ways we can win this game. First way we can win this game, which is the least way I want to do it, but first way we win this game. We don't try to throw at the teeth of their defense, which is their safeties. Their safeties can trick you. That's pretty much it. They do got a good corner, I would say decent corner, AJ Terrell, but when you got a good corner, it doesn't matter. We have a Mike Evans. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care how good your corner is. We got a Mike Evans, so I don't care. So as long as we're not trying to force it deep into the teeth of their safeties, we should be fine. So the first way we can win this game is just take what the defense gives you. Check down, take the easy throws. We talked about this earlier. Don't be Baker where, okay, let's make a play. We don't need that. Start off slow, take what the defense gives you, check it down, and run the ball. They're supposedly not good at stopping the run. I don't know. We'll see, right? Run the ball. I don't expect their offense to do anything against us. I don't expect their offense to do anything against us. So we should have enough chances, I will say, which is why I don't like this game plan. We should have enough chances to try to win the game by just taking what the defense gives us and trying to run the ball and not even trying to force the ball or put the ball in harm's way and giving them a chance by turning over the ball. Now, That's the first way to win it. The real simple, they're the bad team. They're going to make the mistakes. We capitalize on their mistakes. What I'm worried about with that is, what if their offense just turns on today, right? Their offense has been terrible. Again, Baker talked about the difference between last year and this year is this year we are already playing clean football. Falcons have not played clean football all year. They've played trash football. Straight trash, basura football. They have not looked good. They struggle to get first downs. They struggle in the red zone. They just don't. They're not clicking at all offensively. But none of that. What if this is the game that it just turns on? It can happen. I doubt it. I really do doubt it. I would give about 30% to maybe, I'll say 20 to 35% chance that today's the day that it just clicks on. I just doubt it. But it is a possibility. Let's say it doesn't even click on all the way, but just clicks on for a half, maybe clicks on for a drive or two. Then all of a sudden we're going to have to get out of that game plan and be forced to throw into their teeth, because what if they click? What if the game plan is going and it's just a slow game, it's a close game? Now we're in the third quarter, towards the end of the third quarter, and they just get a drive or two where it just clicks. Now they're up by a touchdown, or they're up by 10 points, a touchdown and a field goal. Now we're like, okay, we're at the end of the third quarter, getting into the fourth quarter. Now we're kind of feeling like our back's against the wall. Now we feel like we're getting rushed, and now we got to start throwing to the teeth of their defense. That's one thing that can happen. That's why I don't know if I like that type of style. But it's possible, because again, playing like that, I'm assuming that they're going to make the mistakes and help us get ahead. And because they're not as good as us, and just taking what they give us, we should be able to just continue, whether it's 3 points, touchdown, 3 points, touchdown. All of a sudden we're up by like 2 possessions. Now they got to play one way, which is throwing the ball, and then they're making mistakes and we just kill the game, right? So that can happen. Second way we can win this game is we just go aggressive on them. We just do what we just did to the Eagles, right? And if we do that, yeah, they might get an interception here or there because we're a little bit aggressive. But again, our defense should be able to stall that offense a few times. Will they get a touchdown? Maybe. Will they get 2 touchdowns? Maybe. We've been holding our teams to 16, max 20 points. They shouldn't have more than 16 points at the end of this game. I'll be upset if they have more than 16 points. So, with that said, all we need is 2 plays to get us touchdowns, 2 touchdowns, and a couple field goals, and we win this game. That's it. That's it. We play aggressive, it's going to break eventually. We play aggressive, it's going to break. Defensively, our defense, this is another reason why I think we're just going to overpower them. Because our defense, their quarterback is a statue. I said this to somebody. Might have been someone in here. But I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Yaya has been taking a lot of insides. Like, he's been beating his guy in the inside. Now, when you're playing against Jaden Daniels, when you're playing against Jalen Hurts, that's scary. You beat it in the inside, you lose containment, the guy goes around you, now you lost containment. But you do that with Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins ain't going nowhere. He ain't beating no containment. He ain't going outside of anything. You beat the guy inside, Kirk Cousins is going to hurt. And this is the main reason why I believe we should mollywop the Falcons. We should mollywop the Falcons, because not only do we have a good secondary that I truly believe in, I am a little worried about Servassier not being able to play for us, but I believe that the only competition they really have to give us is their secondary. Their secondary versus us trying to throw deep is competition. Now, if we can stay away from that If they allow us to stay away from that, we should be able to win this ball game. And the only way they can push back is if their offense does something. And their offense should not be able to do anything, whether it's running the ball or whether it's throwing the ball. And we should be able to get pressure on this man, whether it's blitzing or not. I think Yaya, I said this to somebody, I think Yaya is going to get 2 sacks in this game. I think there's going to be a few fumbles in this game. Now, as long as those fumbles are on their side and not our side, we should be good. But I have this gut feeling that there's going to be some fumbles in this game. And I think it's going to come from Kirk Cousins. I'm not going to hold you. I think it's going to come from Kirk Cousins. So I'm trying to think, is there any other way? The slow game, the attack game. Another thing I heard, and this is what blows my mind, man. Again, I did a lot of research. I did a lot of research of different people giving their opinions about this game. And anybody that said that this game's going to be close didn't have a reason. It's a divisional game. It's a divisional game. It's going to be close. The only way I see this being close is because, one, it's a Thursday night game and both teams don't have enough time to put in new game plans. So because there's no time to put in new game plans, you kind of either go with an old game plan you had before, you go with the game plan you just did last week, or you just play safe. Either one, playing safe, you might, it can make the game slow. It can make it a low-scoring game, which in turns keeps this game a close game. That's the only reason. But if Bose comes out and we come out guns a-blazing, this can't be a close game. So I saw John Gruden talk about this game. And he really didn't have much. He broke down both sides, both players, what both teams do good and bad. He really didn't have much to say about the Falcons. But the Bucs, there was one great point that he made. He said, I'd rather go to the dentist and get my teeth pulled out than to play against a Todd Bowles defense on a short week on Thursday night. And the reason for that was simple. Todd Bowles has a whole bunch of exotic blitzes. And not only does he have a whole bunch of exotic blitzes, he doesn't have to put it in. He doesn't have to game plan it. He doesn't really have a base formation, which is true. He doesn't really have a base formation. So it's not like he has to be like, okay, well, we're going to do this in nickel and we're going to put in these blitzes because we're going to play a little bit of nickel this game. He doesn't do that because he has multiple. He plays multiple every game. He doesn't really have a base formation. And his blitz, everybody knows the blitz. He can literally call a blitz from last year and our people know it. He can call a blitz like he doesn't have to install any new blitz. We got a ton of blitzes already. So for an offense to have to study that on a short time, there's no way. There's no way to be able to study all the blitzes Todd Bowles has on a short week for a Thursday night game. So that already is that's a big advantage that we have defensively against their offense. And then on top of that, again, their offense hasn't been able to play any type of clean football. This is why I say it matters how you win and how you lose. If you lose a game, but you played clean football and you were going blow for blow, then you know what? You can hang your hat and say, hey, we weren't the better team, but we played good football. If you win a game like the Falcons just did with the Saints, where you're playing sloppy football, you're playing losing football, but the other team happened to play even more losing football, you can't go to the press conference and say, hey, good teams find ways to win. No, those were two bad teams trying to find a way to lose. One of them had to. It matters how you win. This is another reason, and pretty much the only reason why I'm nervous about this game is because I want this game so bad. If it wasn't for that, I really wouldn't care about this game. The game wouldn't matter. It'd just be another game. But I want this game so bad for two reasons. One is obvious, right? Gets us more in the lead in the division. The second one is because I really don't want to hear Falcon fans. I really don't want. If we let them win, that's going to verify their win against the Saints, and that wasn't a good win at all. That wasn't a real W. If we let them win today, they're going to think that last week was not a fluke. They're going to think last week was like, no, we're a good team. No, I really don't want that. They can beat us next time we play them when everybody's already understands that we're a better team, and they're just like, oh, well, we just were the better team this week, but we know you're the better team overall. Because by that time, we should have a way better record, and everybody should fall in line and understand Bucs are on a different level. We just happen to beat you this game. Because it happens. And I've said this, I think I said this last time we were here live. You can be a team that's better on a different level, and you know what? You just lost that week. That's what happened against the Broncos. We know we're a better team than the Broncos. Even after losing, we know we're a better team than the Broncos. But that week, you know what? They were the better team. They came with a better game plan. And that it happens. I just don't want it to happen today because they won't understand that. They won't understand that. They'll think that they're the better team. So that's the two main reasons why I really want to win this game. I don't want to lose this game. I don't want to lose this game because then I'm going to, oh, God, they really think that. And it could be because of anything. Again, I really wish it wasn't a Thursday night football game. I really wish it was a regular Sunday night. So I know we got the preparation. I know these youngsters, because we got a lot of youngsters. That's another thing. We got a lot of youngsters, short week. Hopefully they don't mess up or they don't, hopefully they get enough prep time or something. I don't know. But fluky things can happen on a Thursday night. So I'm hoping that's not the case. I hope we mollywop them and we just convincingly beat them like we should. Let's get to some of these comment sections. Skull Gang. Buck Crazy is in the building. Mr. Toxic Black. Falcons rise up. Yeah. The Bay report. We run the South. Go Bucks. Tony Lee in the building. Says, let's get it. You know what, Tony? You said something to me. Was it last week or whatever? The last time we talked and you came on here, you said something to me that's been bugging me for the whole. Since you said it to me, it's been bugging me. And you kept saying that when you were trying to talk to other people, that you were like, I know that they probably know more football about me. And then I saw a video of some dude, some content creator. He was an Eagles fan, I think it was. And he was listening to Colin Howard or Coward, however you say his name. I always mix his name up. And he was talking about, I know they know more about sports than I do, but and it made me think of you again. And it really started bugging me because the truth is, bro, they don't know more than you. That's the truth. They don't know. They're pulling stuff out of their butts, bro, and trying to see what sticks. They're just regurgitating what they hear in other sports conversations. They hear people talk about sports. They get in an argument. They hear somebody say something, and that they heard from McCollin or from First Take or from. They hear these things, and then they say it, and they think they know football. They don't, bro. They don't. Don't sell yourself short, bro. They don't know more about football. I don't care how much of a casual you think you are. I don't care how early or late you think you started watching football and started investing into watching football. All you got to do is, again, make your judgments, have your opinions, and just hold on to what you said and be able to adjust with the new information you get. Believe that Baker is good, or believe that Baker is bad, and believe that this is why, and believe that this is why he's good or this is why he's bad, and then go do some digging. I think it's because his feet move too much. And when his feet don't move enough, when his feet are, don't move a lot, he does better. Then watch some game tapes and see, look at this ball. That was a perfect thrown ball. Was his feet moving? And get the information and figure and find out and say, maybe his feet moving doesn't affect him as much as I thought. Then you throw that away. Then you come up with a new thing. And you just keep doing it and you keep doing it. But the key is you learn from the mistakes, put it in your back pocket, and try to get more mistakes. But don't ever let these guys act like they know more about football. They don't. Anybody who can't admit that they're wrong about something will never know football. Anybody that doesn't want to put in the work will never know football. Anybody that always, I'm going to think this way and you're never going to change my mind, they'll never learn football. Original Panther Fan Podcast, Mr. T Money in the building. You know we getting that W. Atlas in the building. Time to plant that flag on this division. Let's go. Exactly. Giuseppe in the building. What up, RTF? Finally made alive. Yeah. I didn't want to do no live streams during games this year, but I said, hey, Thursday night, let's do it. I called in. I'm not going to work tomorrow, so I said, let's do it. Brian Clark in the building. Bucko is on that ish. Baker will close this out for us. What did he say? Yes, sir. What did he say, Brian? The Bay Report says on the game pregame, they just said that Cousins don't move a lot. Ha ha ha. Yeah. I just don't see it, man. I just don't see how they win. Okay, let me try really hard to see how they win this game. And I will, and I kind of hinted at it a little bit earlier. Fumbles. I don't think interceptions will hurt us. Obviously, unless they're interceptions in our own end zone or close to our end zone, right? Then that'll give them great field position. But I don't see that. I don't know if I'm a fortune teller or what, but I don't see that. If there's any interceptions, I see it like down the field, like it's a punt. You know what I'm saying? Like at their 30 or their 40, something like that. I'm not mad at that. I that's what I see if there's any interceptions. But fumbles, I'm worried about fumbles. I don't want any fumbles, and we have young players, so I'm hoping that there's no fumbles. If there's a couple fumbles, we might keep them in the game. That might keep them in the game. But yeah, so I'm trying to think what else. Our pass rush doesn't get there, but I just don't see that either. We have to be able to blitz him. Their run game. Obviously, I don't see them like, oh man, we couldn't stop the run all game. I don't see that happening. But, again, I'm afraid we keep the game close. We just give them shot after shot after shot. Another possession, they're trying to run the ball. They couldn't do it. Another possession, they're trying to run the ball. They can't do it. Another possession, then we get into the third quarter, and it's still a close game, and they pop one off, and now they're in great field position. And then later in the fourth quarter, they pop another one off, and they're in the great field position. That's what I'm afraid of. That's why I don't want us to have a close game, because I don't want a chance of them just getting a lucky drive and now we're put behind the 8 ball. And now we're playing like they're the better team and we got to try to catch up to them, which we know that if we just play with our best foot forward, if we just play our normal game from quarter one, we'll do what I like to say a lot when I live stream. We're going to lean on them. And our talent is so heavy that we're just leaning on them. And we're just so heavy that eventually they break and we just fall on them. And we win the game because we're just too powerful. We're too strong, too talented. That's why if we start from quarter one, I don't think they have no chance. But if we do this thing where we know that they're struggling offensively, so we'll take our chance and like try to be a running team and play conservative and safe because we feel like we can play safe until they threaten us and score something, which we don't think they will. So we do that. And because we do that, we end up kicking a field goal here. They end up kicking a field goal here. And now, we're in the third quarter, 6-6 or 6-9 or something like that. And then, what I'm saying? That's what I don't want. And then something pops off, someone makes a touchdown, and now we're like, okay, now we got to get into our offense, and now they go into their defense, and now we're struggling with our offense, and now we got to adjust, but we don't got time to adjust, or by the time we do adjust, we're already against the clock. That's what I'm afraid of. Tampa Bay Rays fan in the building. Real OG. The real GO, real OG. I forget. Keys to the game, pressure Cousins, and keep an eye on Pitts. Yes. So let's get to the keys to the game, right? It's really simple. Pressure Cousins. It's really simple. Pressure Cousins. Because I don't even think it's pressure. Sack Cousins. I think I think this could be a game where we see Penix, whatever you say, Penis, whatever his name is. I think this is a game we'll end up seeing him. That's how dominant I think we could be in this game. That's how dominant I'm hoping. I'm hoping, again, like I said, I'm hoping this is Bills-Dolphins. I'm hoping this is Jets-Patriots type of game, bro. I'm hoping that by the end of the third quarter, they're already talking about another game because we know how this game is going to end. We pretty much see the Bucs has got control of this game. That's what I'm hoping for. Everybody else is over here talking about 20-27 Bucs win, 20-23 Bucs win. No one really has the Falcons winning, but everybody has this a close game. And yes, I get it. It's a divisional opponent. It don't matter. When I see us at a certain level, and I can't even say the Falcons are on a level because I don't feel like they haven't even gotten going yet. And that's the only thing that makes me nervous. Is that I honestly don't feel like they've gotten it going. So maybe they get it going today. There's a chance that they get it going today. And if they get it going today, then maybe it is a close game. If they get it going today. I would hate for us to be the team that they got it going. You know what I'm saying? But I can't rule it out and act like there's no way it's going to happen. It's possible. But let's finish the keys. Pressure, a.k.a. sack Cousins. That's it. That's the key. I can sit here and say what everybody else says, stop the run, but that's what we do. That's always the game plan. Stop the run first, make them one-dimensional. I don't care about stopping the run because that's what we're going to do naturally. That's the game plan naturally. After we take care of that, which we should, shut this game down by pressuring and sacking and hitting the heck out of Kirk Cousins. Defense taken care of. Matter of fact, Jamel Dean, Jordan Whitehead, Zion McCollum, go get some picks. Go get a pick. Tyke Smith, go give me a pick, man. Go give me a pick. One of y'all, go give me a pick. I don't know if it's going to happen, but let me just put that out there. Go give me a pick. Give me a pick. Give me a pick or two. You know what I'm saying? Offensively, what is the key offensively? This is what I would like for the key to be. I want to do exactly what we did to the Eagles. Same game plan. What I mean by that, I do want to stay. I want to stay semi. I want to be semi, not conservative, but I don't want to. This is what I want to do. I want to be somewhere in the middle. I want to throw short underneath passes. bubble screens to Godwin, short passes, screen plays to, short stuff. Do the short stuff. If they're giving us a chance, take some shots over the top here and there. But my main key is I want to do short stuff. And I want to run the ball. I want to be able to run the ball. So what I would like for us to do, at least the first quarter, test the run game. I don't want to give up on the run game. Test the run game. I want to start with dumping short and the run game. Dumping short and the run game. That's what I want to start with. And depending on how that goes, we either, we still never ditch the run game, but maybe pass a little bit more to open up the run game, or just continue to pass and run. So that's the, I mean, it's like, duh, right? Like, what are you saying? You said you want to run the ball and you want to pass the ball, but it's how we do it, because I don't want to have a game plan where the game plan is let's hit 10, 15 yards, call plays for 10, 15 yards, call plays for 10, 15 yards. I don't want that. I want to hit 1, 2, 3 yards. Call a play for 5 yards. Call a screen. Call a play for 5 yards. Run the ball. Call a play for 10, 15 yards. Run the ball. Call another screen. Run the ball. Run the ball. Call a play for 5 yards. Call a play for 5 yards. Call a play for 3 yards. Run the ball. That's what I want. I want that medium to low yardage. I want to be careful until we see them either open up. But if that run game is still working, then run it. If they're as bad as people saying and can't stop the run and we're able to run them, then just run it. Just run it. Just run it. Tony Lee says, I would like to see Cade get more involved this game. Yes. Drop a bomb for that. Yes. Great point. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Great, great, great point. That part. That's the key. That's the key. Worry about Mike Evans. Worry about Chris Godwin. K. Dotton. That part. See, don't let nobody tell you don't understand football or they know more than you. You watch this game, you care. That part. Brian Clark, I watched both y'all streams and I was wondering first why he was pausing for so long. Then watched your stream. Fact, Bucko was definitely reacting to your comments and went on a rant. See, I'm glad somebody's. Again, sometimes I'm like, am I being self-centered? Like, am I just being like, do I think everything's about me? But I'm like, he's gotta be. I thought so, bro. I thought so. But it is what it is. Tampa Bay Rays fan says the Bucs punter has to be better in field position too. I'm hoping we don't have to worry about the punting today. That's what I'm hoping about. Real life in the building. We gonna whip y'all. Rise up. All right. We'll see. We will see. I hope you join us when we go live for the game. What time is it? Oh, we got like 15 minutes. Probably a little longer. Let me see something. And they still. Let me see something. Well, I'll wait till 5 o'clock. Kendall, is that the homie Kendall or is this another Kendall? What Kendall is this? But let me drop some bombs for Kendall. Kendall in the building with the eye emojis. Brian Clark in the building. Diaby 2 sacks. You feel the 2 sacks? 3 interceptions for Baker tonight. I hope not. There's no way. Let me not say that. Let me not say there's no way. But I definitely hope that should be. If Baker throws 3 interceptions, y'all won this game. If we're at a position that Baker throws 3 interceptions, y'all won this game. We should not have to be throwing like that to the point where Baker is throwing 3 interceptions. That should not happen. If that happens, y'all won the game straight up. Get Otten involved like the last 2 games. Facts. Black Cat Panther podcast. Kendall. I remember Black Cat Panther podcast. Maybe if you remind me of a conversation we had, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I know where you're coming from. But yeah, shout out to you guys. So yeah, man. Again, I'm psyched about this game. I'm pissed that we're I wanted to bet on this game so bad, but it was just this game -1.5. -1.5. Like, really? The Falcons -1.5. The Falcons are favored -1.5. Now, they get 3 because they're home. So in reality, they really giving them, I don't know, what is that? -1.5. 3 favorite. So it's really, they really favored us 2 points. They're really favoring us 2 points, really. But anyways, yeah, 1.5. Yeah, we should be favored in this game. I just don't understand. I don't understand. Did we talk about how the Falcons could win this game? Because I just don't understand. How could the Falcons win this game? I already said what if we play the slow game, if we let it stay a close game. I can't see. Could I see the Falcons taking a 2-possession lead? We would have to make some mistakes early. If we don't make any mistakes early, then I don't think that the Falcons will be able to take like a 2-score lead. We would have to make some mistakes early. What's your thoughts on Panthers benching Young? Quick thoughts. Dave Canellis had to. He would have lost the team, and I think the fact that you saw how the team looked with Andy Dalton proves that he would have lost the team if he would have kept, because that team was hyped about it. That team was very hyped about it. And they showed it on the field. As far as Bryce, they're gonna have to trade him. They're gonna have to trade him to somebody. I don't think Bryce wants to play there anymore. I'm sure Bryce doesn't want to play there. I'm sure the team, if Bryce became the starter again, well, obviously not this year. I don't think Bryce is going to start this year again. But let's say, I guess there is a small chance that they can keep him and next year. But he would have to show improvement in training camp right away. Massive improvement. He'd have to show massive improvement to be able to win that team over. Because if he just shows a little bit of improvement, it's not going to be enough for that team to get on board. And that team's just going to be like, here we go again. So it's tough. It's smally, but a little possible that Bryce can still be their quarterback. But it's going to take a lot. I think Bryce's time there is done. I think they just might as well just trade him to somebody and get what they can from him and just try to start over. What the Panthers should do is pay attention to Dave Canellis. Analyze Dave Canellis. See, just forget that Andy Dalton is your quarterback, because listen, Andy Dalton is good enough to win games, as you already did win a game. Andy Dalton is good enough to win games. So if you're good enough to win games, then it's good enough to analyze your coach, to understand, is your coach good enough? Is your offense good enough? Your offensive coordinator good enough? Your head coach good enough? You can analyze Dave Canellis and see, do you want to continue on with Dave Canellis? Same thing that I tell Miami fans. Now is the time to analyze Mike McDaniels. You already know you can't move forward with Tua, whether it's because of how he plays or the fact that you don't believe he's going to stay healthy, now is the time to analyze your head coach and see, do we keep on with this head coach and try to get him another quarterback, or do we move on from the head coach as well? That's how I feel about the Panthers and the Bucs. That's what I mean. The Panthers and the Dolphins. Brian says Baker 280 yards, 2 TDs, 0 interceptions, 30 rushing yards. Ooh, that's a dub. That's a dub. That can't be the only 2 touchdowns we have though, but that's a dub. That's a dub. I like it. I like it. There's a Falcon fan.
Well, thoughts for you.
You know where I'm going. Kicking props. It's been money. I mean, the NFL game is so different now, where they're quick to take a field goal.
I don't care about that. Yeah. So wait for 5 o'clock to hit, and then I'm gonna look at this. What do you call it? TV guide. Are you guys old enough to remember TV guides? Like old school TV guides, like when you're at the grocery store and you're next to the candy bars, there are TV guides right there. Remember that? Let's see. 110 yards split between Irvin and White with a TD. That's definitely a dub. Definitely a dub. You can't go base off 2 games. Look at the Saints. Everybody was hyped for 2 weeks. But like you said, we got to play. We got the players, but the coaches, man. What 2 weeks are you talking about? The Bucs 2 weeks? You can't really go off of 2 weeks, but let's see. Have you guys seen this? It's on YouTube. This right here. It's Baker Mayfield going undercover. So they have season ticket holders do like this special thing where they go into the locker rooms and they go to the training rooms and they just special things that they do for some season ticket holders. And Baker goes with them, but in disguise. They don't know it's Baker. Oh man, it's funny. It is funny. They're all sitting in the area, where all the players sit down, and then they're watching like the projector, and Coach Bowles will be there talking to them or whatever. Usually where they all sit down and the rookies do their like talent shows and stuff. So they're all sitting there. These are all fans and Baker in disguise, and they're like saying different things. Baker raises his hand and he's like, do the players have like assigned seats? I would love to sit where Mike Evans sits. And then they're like, no, the players kind of sit wherever. And the fans are like, yeah, man, that'd be cool, whatever. And one of the fans is like, man, you know what? I think Baker should do like he did in Cleveland. They should do like a commercial, like, how he was in Cleveland, like that was his home, but now Tampa's his home. He should do like another commercial, like Tampa's home, like that's his new home, And Baker's like, I think he should just stick to football. And they looked at him like, man, stop hating. Like, it was hilarious. It was funny. It was funny how he said it. He's like, yeah, I think Baker should just stick to football, like, because he has a little accent. Like, it was. Oh, anyways, yeah, it was good. It was funny. It's on YouTube. All right, what are we doing here? Sports? No, I want to go to live TV. Where's my live TV at? There you go, live TV. It was there. We're gonna get the game going, and then I'm gonna start. I got Prime, man. What are they talking about? I got. Hold on, bro. I don't know what's. Is this not like? Let me make sure. I don't like how I don't know if this is the game or not. I feel like this is not. Oh, let me bring it over here. 1 second, guys. Let me get this game going, and then we're gonna go. Yeah, this is me, right? Yeah, this is me. Okay. Like, every time I see something. Act like I ain't got no subscription, but I do. Hold on. You know what? Let me do it through the air. Give me a second, guys. Yeah, that's not what I wanted. It's making it seem like I ain't got a subscription, but I know I do. But maybe it's because I'm on Amazon and not Prime. Yeah, see? All right, let me. Oh, that's probably why.
Barber here for your first film session, presented by Windows 11 of the 2022 season.
There we go.
After that 19-3 victory on the road in Dallas, how about this one? Congratulations to Todd Bowles winning his first game. And while there was a lot of good on the other side of the ball, offensive side, I mean, Leonard Fournette looked good. The young offensive lineman looked good. And how about that Mike Evans catch? Wow. But this game was decidedly dominating defense. You know what?
All right. All right. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end this stream and start the live stream for the game. I'll see you guys there.